Hello, race fans, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network. Thank you guys for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday evening. We are happy to have you guys with us. On tap for you tonight, we have the 2026A Infinity Graphics Design Development Series season opener here from Texas Motor Speedway. I am Mc Intosh, joined by my co-commentators Alayton, Norgard, and Cameron Rich, with our producer Crish Wright on the controls. We have a 90-lap race around this half-mile, or mile-and-a-half oval, with some six-shooters and a cowboy hat on the line at the end of this thing. So we got some hungry drivers looking to get their hands on them, some guys looking to show that they want to move up to the big series, and some vets here that are just trying to have some fun on this beautiful Tuesday night. Alayton, why don't we walk them through the format for tonight's race?
Yeah, tonight, like you mentioned, mile and a half track here at Texas. We'll have 90 laps, that's 135 miles, and three sets of tires for them in the pits. Um, Hearing that there's a lot of tire wear here tonight, so we'll be expecting them to making use of all those tires tonight.
Track is pretty slick as well, but looking at your qualifying results, we've got on the pole Harrison Talon in that number 8 Chevrolet. He's going to be leading you to the green. On his outside is going to be Dylan. We're learning here. First time pronouncing a lot of these names. Dylan, I'm going to say Slepian. I think it's Slepian. Could be wrong. Sorry about that. Pete Morales is going to roll off third in the number 95 with Caleb Pacumer to his outside. Starting fifth is going to be Corey Abbott in the number 21. Sixth is going to be Andrew Hardcastle. Johnny Thomas in seventh. Rishav in eighth. Aiden Racimus ninth. And Ryan Borges is going to ring out the top 10.
On 11th, we got Jacob Adams. 12th, Frank Fody. In 13th, we've got Austin Abnett. 14th, Dylan Javier. 15th, James Watson. Shea Mitchell in 16th. Gavin Higgins in 17th. Pierce Hausler 18th. Sam Boutwell in 19th. And Cale Pocock rounding out the top 20.
Rolling off 21st is going to be Jimmy Hayden in the 25. 22nd, his outside, the number 84 of Rob Mooney. 23rd, David Westergreen. 24th, Kyle Harner. 25th is going to be Dave Carpenter with Mitch Javier to his outside. Logan Key, 27th. Davis Braun, 28th. 29th for Bryce Fody. 30th for Mark Rabilis. Scotty Larson brings it 31st. 32nd for Kurt Gibson. David Huckleberry, 33rd. 34th for Carlos Acosta. 35th for Philip Falzone, and Andy Thomas will roll off 36th. I don't think... Oh, Josh Osborne is going to be technically 37th. Noah Brown and our lovely Cameron Rich, who accidentally registered as a driver, will be at the bottom of your ticker for the rest of the night. Speaking of Cam, we got a long race here, 90 laps for these guys. You know Texas pretty well. What do you think right here before we get to the restart zone? Ten 4, I think your mic's muted. Harrison Talon's going to lead us to the green here. So they roll out of turn 4. Pace truck is going to pull in. And just like that, our 2026A season's going to be underway. See a good jump for Harry. Somebody on that outside lane about 4th row back did not take off, but it's a good restart for Slepian as well. So they're going to be side by side as we head into 1. Little bit of pressure from the 95 there of Morales, but other than that, I think the top's going to actually have a pretty good run off here.
Sounds like we had a little action in the back, but ours seem to be still continuing on, still under green here as well. Side by side for the lead with Dylan Slepian, along with Harrison Talon, going side by side this entire first lap. I do have some experience racing with Slepian in the past. He ran in a previous league with me. Definitely not one to sleep on. He's going to be a strong contender this season, as long as he makes all these races.
Right now, he's making that outside work. Oh, Caleb Pacumer down into Morales. Hard into the inside wall. He's going to save it. That's going to be a lot of damage to that 95 machine. As they're going to try to sort it out back there. He's able to hold on to it. Significant front end damage. No bumper on that thing. So he's going to have to get that fixed. I would imagine that might be a severe damage tally for Caleb Pacumer. But we stay green here. Slepian was able to make that outside work and get around Harry. Pacumer now trying to take the second spot away from Talon. Oh, we got more contact. The 22, the 48 involved. That's a big one. Frank Fody involved. Dylan Javier. Oh, James Watson. Oh, my goodness. James Watson on his... Oh, golly. Okay, well, this is a development series. I want to remind everybody of that. So these guys are going to learn as they get going. But that was a big one. That's possibly the biggest wreck I think we've seen in a minute.
Yeah, as the de facto race control tonight, I think I'm going to have my work cut out for me with that one.
I would say so. Let's see, at least 5 cars parked on the bottom there. We get a look at it here on the replay cam. Johnny Thomas with damage. There's a long list here. We're going to see what happened. So the 22 and the 83 are what starts it. The 22 gets loose on the top all the way down to the middle. On to Johnny. Jacob Adams trying to avoid it. Starts that mess. And then James Watson, you see him flying on your screen on top of the 54, two-wheeling it. I think there were a lot more cars with damage than I originally expected.
I think just like you guys were saying in our intro, the cars were a little bit loose tonight. I think that 22, it's about the time where you're going to be getting up in the gas really hard, and it just never hooked up for him right there.
See Frank Fody trying to check up. Nothing he could really do. It kind of was in his lap. It's going to get Dylan Javier involved. Gavin Higgins barely almost makes it through. Did they keep it straight? Gavin kept it straight. Nowhere for the guy on the outside to go. James Watson taking air there. Alayton, this is kind of something we expected. We knew that this thing was going to be loose, especially with the track being a little slicker and Legacy Texas also being as bumpy as it is. So nothing, I would say, out of the ordinary. It definitely is, but we kind of expected something like this to happen.
Yeah, for sure. When the car is this loose, you're pushing hard in these early laps, trying to get the positions you can up front before people space out, and it gets harder to gain them. And Andrew Hardcastle just got on that throttle a little bit too hard, I think, and kind of lost it and couldn't save it before collecting Johnny Thomas. One car that kind of snuck through the middle of that was the 25 of Jimmy Hayden. Just found a hole right through the middle and avoided the entire mess.
Which I think for where everybody was, I didn't think there was going to be much of a hole, but if he was able to get through that, which was kind of impressive. I know there were cars literally everywhere. As we run through your top 10, there was a lot of people involved there. Sleepy and still your leader over Caleb Acumer, Harrison Talon third, fourth for Corey Abbott, fifth for Jaden Racimus, sixth for Gavin Higgins, and Austin Abnett, who both barely got through that. Jimmy Hayden in eighth, Ryan Borges in ninth, with Sam Batwell making it up to 10th. Lots of big movers. I think we have quite a few cars that are done. I saw James Watson disconnect. He had significant damage. Same thing for Scotty Larson and Johnny Thomas. So a couple guys already out of this race early. We got the 1 to green this time by. Just going to put the control in the 63 as we head towards the restart zone. And I think we don't have a fuel number, do we? I would imagine we probably don't. But I would probably guess that there's 30 to 40 in a tank, maybe.
Yeah, usually at these mile and a halves, it's about 30 to 40, 44-ish, so if you can save a little bit. So I think that's what we'll be seeing here. Also, in the words of a famous commentator, I was told there wouldn't be math involved, but I did count 11 cars in that wreck. So, yeah, very big one.
Nearly a third of the field, which you hate to see it. However, I would have to imagine that some of those guys maybe aren't done just yet. This pace truck is bringing them through 3 and 4. It's going to be 63 on the outside or inside, 59 on the outside. Going to be an interesting restart here. The first one that's going to be on the leader. See how good of a restart the 63 is able to get. They get to the box now. And he's going to get a pretty good jump. Harry might have also wanted to get that, but he's going to be clear to the outside, so no pressure for him. Harry going to now try to get underneath Caleb Acumer for the second spot as we roll into 1. Here comes Jaden Racimus looking pretty good to jump into the top 5 over Corey Abbott there.
Yeah, these cars side by side, fighting for second and third, second through fifth, really. Really going to help Dylan Slepping kind of feel a little bit more comfortable and potentially open up a bit of a gap. I know these cars do have quite a bit of draft with them, so may not be able to just pull away, but at least for now, letting him kind of run the line he wants and not worry too much about having someone send it on him.
Looks like he's going to try to take advantage of that, I know. Obviously, the 21 Corey Abbott looked to struggle a little bit. He's going to fall back a little bit. Jaden Racimus now to the top side. As they're still side by side, I think this is something that we might see for a good bit here until these tires really start to wear out. But I think a lot of it, too, is like the outside might be wearing a little bit more, especially with the right rear. So knowing that's going to be the trouble tire makes me wonder if any of these guys are in the back just trying to hold on to it and expect a long run.
Yeah, depending on how guys are running it, I was hearing tire wear numbers of over 1% a lap, which is pretty extreme for what we typically see at these mile and a halves. Not sure how much fall off they were seeing, but definitely the potential for some big uh, pace differentials as tires wear down here.
Seamus got a little loose there on the outside of the 24. He's able to hold on to it, but he's going to be under fire for quite a few cars. They've single filed out, other than him and Austin and Abnett. So he's going to be on the down trek for a little bit. But somebody who's on the uptick, the 24 car, I think, has started. Where did he start? Let's see here. He started in. Is the 24 or the 25? That's supposed to be the 20.
It's the 25 in game, but
Okay.
24 on the paint.
Started 21st, and he's into the top 5, so he's on the uptick for sure. Gavin Higgins going to put some pressure on him to get around Jaden Racimus as they both do so. A little bit of a fight there for the 20.
Yeah, we're hearing someone called the 63 for a lane change. So is there any way we can get a replay of that restart real quick?
I will take a look at it very quickly on my end. Let's see.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cut and dry, but just wanted to see if we could check that again.
It's close. Yeah. It's 50-50 for me, I would say. He moved up to the second white line there, so I would say that it might be worthy of one. But I will put that in your discretion, Cam. You're the race control, so. We see the 25 now get up around Harrison Talon, so he's up to the 3rd position. Talon now under fire from Jaden Racimus. Battle for the lead might be on in just a little bit. Caleb Pecumer all over the back of the 63. 63 does get a penalty. That would put the lead in Caleb Pecumer's hands while they're fighting for 3rd on back. Jaden Racimus is going to get around Harry. I think Harry's struggling pretty big here, Alayton. I think he's feeling the tire wear already.
Yeah, it's very easy to overdrive this car, and as soon as you do get those tires too hot, it's going to be a struggle. As we see Caleb Pecumer here going for a move on Dylan Slepian in the lead. He's got to his inside, and I don't know if he'll be able to complete that pass. The outside with the run you can get there might be a little too much, as his teammate Jimmy Hayden, Dylan Slepian's teammate, looking to the outside of Caleb Pecumer now as well.
Looked like Jimmy was shot out of a cannon down the back straightaway. He's going to get around Caleb on the outside. Now he's going to look to pass his teammate for the lead, but don't look too much further. Got a 4-car fight now. These guys are all under a blanket. Jaden Racimus is going to get Caleb pushed back up to the back bumper of the 25. And I think Hayden's going to get a little loose, so it might open the door for a move from Pecumer into 3. But I don't think there's going to be too much going on. These cars are very, like you were saying earlier, the draft effect with this thing is pretty strong, which is kind of crazy. But if you're able to get with a group of cars and kind of maintain, you can pack up pretty good, which I think is what we're seeing right now from the front 3. See Gavin Higgins get around the 8. Now Corey Abbott going to put some pressure on him and the 20. So it's going to try to advance his way into the top 5.
And one quick note here, of course, with that, whenever draft is involved, that also means that these drivers are facing dirty air. So you'll probably see them right up there. I think that's the 25 of, I believe that was Jimmy Hayden. He was running the high side, probably just to get some clean air on that nose, not really to try to be up there. But you definitely get more turn on these race cars when you have clean air on them. So you sit behind somebody else too long, you tend to burn up the front tires, and it'll make the rest of your run pretty miserable.
Right on board with Corey Abbott. You're seeing how much he's having to work the wheel on corner exit. This track, obviously, before the repave, 3 and 4 was always decently smooth, like as far as not having to counter steer it too much. But between the tire wear, the dirty air he's feeling, he is absolutely working the wheel inside that 21 machine. He's going to now try to go around Gavin Higgins for the 5th spot. And we're going to kind of right on board, see what he's able to do with Gavin Higgins. Oh, big wiggle there for car number 20. That's going to pretty much give the position to Corey Abbott. Now he's going to be under fire from the 8. He's going to get loose again. And I think that's going to make it a dogfight into 3 and 4, but I expect the bottom to prevail. As back out front, we just had a pass for the lead. Jimmy Hayden able to get around his teammate in the 63. So he's going to try to get that clean air and break away. However, I think we might kind of have a back and forth squabble right now between the lead with the way that the tire wear currently is and the way that the dirty air affects everything. So we'll see. So he's going to get a pretty good run through 1 and 2 and pull away from his teammates. So we might not see a fight there for just a second.
And
Yeah, I kind of feel
believe-
like the outside is going to be the better defensive line, but Gavin Higgins, with how loose he got, his tires have got to be blazing hot right now. And if you're that loose, you're not going to be able to defend whether you're on the top or the bottom. So that's kind of what he's suffering from right now. And I imagine he's not the only one. This track is basically racing on the surface of the sun right now. I believe it's 129 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's pretty close to as hot as we've ever run a track here in Elite.
I believe the professional term for what Gavin was doing there is swatting flies inside of that race car. He was all sorts of all over the place and could not get it hooked up through any of the corners. And, you know, like you said, that just, it doesn't ever get better. Once you really burn those tires up, it really does not get any better.
See a battle for this 8th spot right now. Austin and Abnett under fire from Sam Boutwell. Just behind them, Cale Pocock looking to make his way up through the top 10. Sam getting a little loose there, swatting some flies in the number 47 machine. Big wiggle there. Cale's going to slide by pretty swiftly. As out in front, nothing has changed really. Still the 25, 63, and the 59 there in order for the top 3. Cale going all the way to the wall there. I mean, we saw the 22 earlier get loose and cause that first yellow. Cale is somebody who I've seen in the 03 series. Not afraid to do something different and kind of put the car where he has to manhandle it. And based off what we're seeing, I think this is just Cale kind of working the car to what he prefers at the moment.
Yeah, Woody's...
This is the line he was running in the 03 series, and he was really happy with how that worked in that car. During practice, he wasn't sure how that was going to work here tonight, but it looks like he's trying to make it happen.
And really, the only thing he's got to worry about running that line up there in turns 1 and 2, there is a massive, massive bump about, I want to say, a quarter way through the corner. If we actually stay on board with him up to that point, he will probably hit it, but it is very jarring as a driver. And you just have to drive around it it's not going to make the car drive any better. So we'll see how he navigates turns 1 and 2 here. Going to be right about there. Yeah, he hit the bump and then was able to turn the car down and hit the apex there. He's going to get a great run off and challenge here for that number 19th spot on Austin and Abnett. Excuse me, number 8, position 8, not 19.
His battle for the lead. Caleb Pacumer just had a huge run on the 63. He's going to be even with the 24 at the line. We might have a 3-wide situation going on here. Caleb Pacumer with a huge run. Now going to be side-by-side with Jimmy Hayden into 1 and 2. Still side-by-side. Hayden's going to pull here. And they're going to single file back out. But Caleb Pacumer went from 3rd to 1st in about 2 corners. So I don't know if that was just a really good run from Caleb or if there was a little bit of fly swatting in there. But he's looking really good at the moment. He's going to have to try to cool those tires back off. He had a big wiggle off of 2, looked a little loose out of 3 and 4. So try to cool those things back down and take care of them.
Really starting to see a lot of gaps open up here throughout the field. These cars have really started to string out. With this being a developmental series, there's a pretty big range in driver pace, and we're really seeing that with how the field has stretched out already. But with that stretching out, it also means we might be able to see a pretty long green run here, not to jinx things, but it's looking good so far.
Yeah, we talked about this being a developmental series, and it's a lot of guys who are running this to learn and get better. This is also a lot of newcomers that join Elite. This is their way to get to run the Truck Series and the Grand National Series and the Cup Series. So a huge range of veterans. I mean, Johnny Thomas is running tonight, or was running tonight. David Westergreen, somebody who is a commentator on the Cup side. So everybody is free to run this as long as you haven't run or won. I think, what is it? Is it 5 non-super speedway wins? Is that what it is?
It's 5 wins of any kind. Super speedways are no longer exempt from that.
Oh, okay, cool. I did not know that. So is that a rule change for this year?
It is.
Okay, so that would be why I did not read the rule book. As we see Caleb Pacumer put a little bit more pressure on Jimmy Hayden than he was before, but I don't think there's too much going to really come of that unless we see a big wiggle from the 25. So He looks pretty steady in that regard. A little bit further back, some shuffling in the top 5 going on. Cale Pocock now around Jaden Racimus. Harrison Talon was able to make his way back into the top 5, passing for the 5th spot. As we see, I believe, a lap car there in the 31 machine just behind Harry.
Definitely seeing some wiggles from both the 1 of Jaden Racimus and the 8 of Harrison Talon. They are fighting this car right now. With the line that Cale is running right now, it's kind of just doing what he wants. He's driving off in a straight line off the corners, and that's really kind of helping him to keep that tire heat under control, I think.
A quick update here on the 07 of Josh Osborne. Was in 25th a couple laps ago. Got a little bit loose off of turn 2, spun all the way down the back stretch, got it going again, no caution, and he is currently in the pits.
So a little bit of a struggle there for car number 07. It's back out front. A little bit of a wiggle there from the 25, but not too big. It looked like it was just enough to kind of unsettle the car. Somebody who I don't think is struggling, Cale Pocock, we mentioned him. He started way in the back, putting some pressure on Harry. Those guys that he's passing that are struggling with tires, it's making me wonder how Cale's going to feel here in about 10 or 15 laps, which I think we're coming up on green flag pit stops, so it might not matter too much, but somebody who's taking care of their stuff and making it work is Cale Pocock.
I would be a little surprised if we have fuel stops before lap 45 to 50. I usually like to check the fuel numbers. I didn't tonight. I know we were talking about it earlier, but it's got to go half the race, I would guess.
It's Caleb Acumer all over Jimmy Hayden. Jimmy a little bit loose up there on the top, feeling those bumps. His teammate's going to try to provide support. We got a yellow.
Looks like the 4 in turn 1 was stopped.
From what I can see, it looks like he just got a little bit sideways. Didn't even really spin it all the way around there.
We look at the replay cam here. Yeah, just a little loose. And then tried to lock it down and not go back up the racetrack. So the smart thing to do, unfortunately going to bring out a yellow, so throw the green flag pit stops, even if we were about 12 or so laps away, out the window. I would expect everybody to come down and get some tires and fuel. And I believe we're going to go ahead and throw it to our first commercial break of the night. So we will check back in with you guys after pit stops.
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pick. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here at the Texas Motor Speedway, we have completed our first pit stops of the day under yellow. Pretty big shakeup here. Caleb Acumer is going to take the lead. Corey Abbott's going to be second on the restart. 63 of Sleeping is going to be down in third. Harrison Talon fourth. Gavin Higgins going to be 5th. Austin Abnett 6th. David Westergreen 7th. 8th for Jaden Racimus. 9th for Jimmy Hayden. He's the big story there off of those pit stops. A little bit of a struggle. Obviously came in the top 3. Going to shuffle back just a little bit, but he's going to have some time to get himself back going here. Notably, some pretty big tire wear numbers from what I've seen. About 20 to 25% wear on the tires for those guys that might have been struggling just a little bit. Caleb's going to choose the top, though, so I'd expect that to be the big lane for the leaders to choose. I know we saw the 63 choose the bottom the first time around, so we're going to see how this works out for Caleb for the first time.
A couple of different strategies here, so I think this will be a fun restart.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I don't know exactly who might have taken 2, but we're going to find out pretty quickly here. Pace truck is in, and the restart zone goes Caleb Pecumer. And it's going to be a pretty decent jump for the 59. Harrison Talon with a good jump as well. 5th on back. Not too good, though. They're going to be a little all over each other. Caleb's going to take a pretty high arc, cut it to the bottom, try to get the run off of 2, and it's going to work out for him. Corey Abbott clear to the 2nd spot. Here comes the 63. Side by side with Harry for 3rd. Jaden Racimus, a little bit of a wall tap back there, but he's going to sort it out. So they get single filed out. First side by side battle is going to be the David Westergreen machine and Austin Abnett.
Yeah, so Austin Abbott, he got very close to the turn 2 wall there, the green and gold car that was on the top of your screen just a minute ago, but he kept it out of it, and he's actually going to lose that spot to David Westergreen. So move him back to, looks like that will be position number 10.
Jaden Racimus, Gavin Higgins going at it right now with a little bit of help from Jimmy Hayden. For Jaden Racimus, they're going to try to get that sorted out, but they're going to stay side by side. A little bit further back, you see Mark Rabilis, Cale Pocock, and I believe, can't really see the number on that one, the O2 of Carlos Acosta. They were 3 wide momentarily, but they get that sorted out. So far, so good on the restart for Caleb. A pretty good gap back there to Corey Abbott, so we'll see how that works out for him. Caleb Pecumer, the fastest car on the racetrack right now, pulling away from Corey Abbott. Saw a little bit more contact with the wall for Jaden Racimus, so somebody who might want to try to pace himself, especially out of turn 2. It seems to be his one trouble spot. See the Jimmy Hayden machine still putting pressure on Gavin Higgins for the 5th spot.
Yeah, that 25/24. It's 24 in the car, but his number in iRacing is 25. Whatever it is, Jimmy Hayden, he did have a pretty horrible pit stop here, and he is marching back towards the front. Made a pretty aggressive move there on the 20 of Gavin Higgins, and he's looking for more here. The car has a lot of speed in it. He's pretty much been in the top 3 all race until now, so we'll see what he can do here.
I noticed when he was getting around Gavin there in 1 and 2, he was painting the white line. Like, that left front was all over it. It's something that I'm not necessarily seeing everybody else do. He's going to do it a little different here. Choose to just ride behind his teammate. Maybe try to wait until some tire wear falls off, and they can try to pick them off one by one. Out front, nothing really changed. Caleb Pecumer about the same gap to Corey Abbott. Harrison Talon falling into the lap of the 63 and the 25, so we'll see how that works. Everybody else a little bit more spaced out, but behind Jaden Racimus, a little bit of a gap to David Westergreen. Beyond that, side by side right now is the 15 of Davis Braun and Carlos Acosta there for the 10th position. And then we got a big cluster behind them, but other than that, mostly single file. Harrison Talon got a little more comfortable.
Austin Abnett has been stuck on the high side for about 5 laps here. It looks like he's trying to get down, just slid back to about 14th. Now losing the spot to Mark Rabalis on the bottom there. Just cannot get to the bottom. I'm not sure if he has a problem or just got shoved up there and he can't really get the track position back.
Somebody else with a really terrible pit stop. Cale Pocock was inside the top 10 by a good margin. We talked about how he was running the top side, getting it back down to the bottom, doing something really different from what everybody else was doing. But now he's back in the 16th position, it looks like, at this exact moment. So a little bit of a struggle there. But out front, still nothing changed. Caleb Pecumer over Corey Abbott by about 2/10. Harrison Talon, though, under fire from the 63.
Yeah, we were looking at 3 wide there in turns 3 and 4. I think that was it looks like maybe the 88 of Kurt Gibson, I think, was looking very high there, but just not a lot of grip there at this point of the run for these cars to be able to do that. So he's gonna have to wait a little bit later on, and then maybe run that line who was that was running up there?
Cale Pocock?
Yeah, Cale Pocock, where he was running a little while ago. So I think we'll see that line coming later in the race. It's later in the run, really, when these tires wear out.
I think something. This is really the first time we've seen the 2-car breakaway we're seeing at the front right now. Caleb Pacumer and Corey Abbott put about a half a second back to the teammates of the 63 and the 25 in that group. Just want to shout out, we were talking about him momentarily there. Carlos Acosta right now in the 8th position, having a really great night so far. You see David Westergreen just behind him, recovering from that first bit of damage that he had. I think Carlos might have been pretty clean out of that first wreck. So shout out to Carlos. We see you, buddy. And I'll also shout out Sam Boutwell, who started close to the back with David Westergreen. Those 2 cars back inside the top 10, looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, that number 02 of Carlos Acosta, he's actually your biggest mover right now, up 26 spots from his 34th place starting position. So that is a really good run for him. See what he can do later on in the race.
We got 3 wide there momentarily. Jacob Adams, Cale Pocock, and Mark Robilas. I feel like I've said his name 3 different ways, and I don't know which one it is. Mark, I'm sorry. I feel like we've had this conversation before. My bad. Right now, battle for the lead. Caleb Pacumer under fire from Corey Abbott. Corey Abbott down to the inside, going to be side by side. Trying not to maybe open up the door too much for the teammates of the 63 and the 25, but they are fighting nonetheless. Let's see which lane prevails here.
And if you're the 63 or the 25, you're loving seeing that because you're going to come right back up to them. You're going to get right back up to their bumper. Ooh, loose at the 21 off turn 2.
And I mean, that gap went from half a second to about a 10th, and that's it. So now we went from having a 1v1 with 2 cars. We've got I would imagine probably a 2v1v1 because those teammates are probably going to want to work together to get around these guys unless they really don't have to. So look to see that probably take shape in just a little bit. Looking through your field right now, your top 5, Caleb Pacumer, Corey Abbott, your first name, Dylan Sleepian in the 3rd spot, Jimmy Hayden 4th, 5th for Gavin Higgins, 6th for Jaden Racimus, Harrison Talon in 8th, a little bit further, or Harrison Talon 7th, sorry, Carlos Acosta 8th, David Westergreen 9th, and Davis Braun rounds out the top 10. That is a huge conglomerate there, though, currently fighting for that 8th spot. David Westergreen's going to be side by side with Carlos Acosta. Sam Boutwell going to try to, that's not Sam anymore, that's Dylan Javier now, who's going to maybe try to push David Westergreen around him.
We had a big move from Corey Abbott. He made the move on the 59 of Caleb Pacumer into turn 3, was not able to make the move. Almost made some contact there, but they are all good to go. And I got to think that 21 might be a little bit faster right now, but I don't think he's faster in the right spots, if that makes any sense. I think he's actually going to be under fire here from Dylan Sleepian. My goodness. I got it too. As we said just a couple laps ago, now Caleb Pacumer is loving what he's seeing in his mirror because he's going to benefit from this. Oh, that's going to be a tough spot for the 21. Ooh, that's not good.
Oh, boy, that's not great. You don't like to see that. Corey Abbott probably seeing red right now, and I'm not just talking about the 31's back bumper. Not the spot that you want to be put in when there's a lap car that I think he struggled pretty hard in 1 and 2 and slowed down immensely, but that just handed those 2 positions to the 63 and the 25, so Corey Abbott probably not happy. Caleb Pacumer, though, loves what he's seeing. He's got about a 3, I would say, 5, like half a second lead right now over those guys, and if he can play the cards right, he might not have to worry about it.
We're hearing the 07 of Josh Osborne has wrecked on the front stretch, and once again, no caution. He's got it down to the pits, so we should be all good to go there.
Yeah, that car got all out of shape coming through 3 and 4. Pretty significant contact with the outside wall head on. I'm really surprised we don't have a yellow, to be honest with you. His right front was sliding on the ground.
That 31 is very slow right now. Is that who I'm seeing? Let's check. Yeah, sure is. We have a caution.
Yellow here on lap 52 of 90. So I believe that is Kurt Gibson, all out of shape.
Yeah, something happened with 31. He was super slow before this, and then it just looks like it was kind of related.
So Kurt gets into the wall. Let's see. A little bit of a wall tap there. Out of the tri-oval, the 42 is going to get involved. Kurt obviously just really loose.
Yeah. 31 wasn't even around this, surprisingly. So that's interesting.
So that's going to put us under yellow for the third time here this evening. Honestly, I will say I think a lot of these guys, for 3 yellows and 53 laps with how loose this car has been, I'm very impressed with these guys so far. They've done a great job. I think this is going to open the door for some strategy here. Obviously, we pitted on lap 33, I think it was, or around that. So we're going to definitely have a mixed bag here. I would expect, you know, as Chris is pulling up right now, we have 3 sets of tires. They've already used 1. Some people might have used 2, depending on what situation they were in, and they're going to come down and use another. So Caleb Akumer's going to lead them in. That is your top 10. I think everybody on the lead lap is going to pit here.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a little wild to not. .31's going to stay out to get the wave around. But that is everybody off of or on pit road. All right, well, that's... I feel like we've had another situation here. Caleb Akumer slides through his pit box. We've seen a lot of these guys up at the front. I mean, Jimmy Hayden started the trend, having a little bit of a struggle pit stop. Caleb Akumer is going to go from the lead to probably 4th here. He's going to be able to maintain 3rd, but Dylan Sleeping's going to jump out to the lead. Corey Abbott 2nd. Akumer going to be 3rd over Jaden Racimus. Rest of the battle off of pit road we'll get to you in just a second here, but obviously not what Caleb Akumer needed.
Not at all. And it might not sound like that big of a deal. And it really, you know, they do have about 30 some laps left to go here, which is quite a bit of time. But, you know, when you lose the lead, you lose a couple perks like controlling that restart, which is huge. So now instead of being the one to control when he and everyone else goes, he now has to go when the 63 goes. So it's just one of those things. Losing the lead, you lose a couple perks that are nice to have, but you know we've seen the 59. He's been really quick on these long runs too. So if he just plays his cards right, if he stays patient, if he stays focused, I think he is really no worse for the wear. I think he's going to be just fine here.
Dylan Sleepy in the leader. He's going to choose the bottom on the restart. Corey Abbott 2nd, Caleb 3rd, Jaden Racimus 4th. It's going to be 5th for Ryan Borges in that number 42 machine. Harrison Talon on his outside in 6th. Gavin Higgins 7th. 8th for David Westergreen. 9th for Dylan Javier. And 10th for Mark Rebelos, who started 30th. He's up to the top 10. He and Carlos Acosta are going to be doing battle right there for the biggest mover. As we see the track's cooled down about 8 degrees, so we're a little cooler. We were up to 129 when the race started, so we've cooled off a little bit. So that might play a factor in how these tires are going to react as we get ready to roll here.
That's a significant drop right there.
Kind of makes me wonder if we're going to see if these guys are looking at that, or if they have somebody in their ears, if they might push it a little bit more. I know that that's not as huge of a drop in number-wise, but track temp is going to be pretty significant. So as we see the 63 get ready for the restart here, getting up to the box, pace car's in. It's another really good jump for the leader there. Dylan Sleepy's going to get a huge jump.
Not sleeping on the restart.
No, absolutely not. But everybody else going to be dogfighting right now. You see Corey Abbott started on the top. He's going to get down to the bottom. Caleb Akumer's going to slide through for 3rd for the moment, but I don't know if he's going to get quite clear. Nope. Jaden Racimus going to have a fight back on the outside. So everybody's squabbling for position back there. Ryan Borges, so we're going to be 3 wide momentarily.
Oh, Westergreen.
David Westergreen. Front end on that machine is mangled. No bumper left. Have to see what happened there.
I think, yeah, it looks like Carlos was involved in that one.
Oh, no. Obviously, I mean, that was a... I feel like that might honestly just be a racing deal. I think David was maybe expecting Carlos to go a little lower. I can't say that was egregious from Westergreen. I think that was him just turning into the corner there.
I think I would have to agree with you there, Ty.
Oh,
I think
there's where the front bumper went.
if you follow the O2's kind of trajectory based on the lines, he actually did move a little bit left going into the corner. Just D West moved a little bit more left. So unfortunate, but I think, yeah, that's not anything egregious that Carlos did there.
So we see the 4 Somebody we saw spin earlier, just not. I don't think there was a whole lot of time. I obviously didn't see the run up to it, but I don't think there was a whole lot. Yeah, hard to, because you're expecting the car to slide and then kind of stay, but he can't make too big of a move.
Actually, it wasn't. I can't call.
Your mic is breaking up a little bit there, driver, but I think you might be okay here in a second.
I think, yeah, we should be good here.
Yeah, we got you now. So we see Corey Abbott still your leader. That's a good point. I don't know, Jimmy Hayden, he was in the top 10. We talked about the struggle pit stop there. He is now in the 13th position, so something must have happened. I'm gonna go take a look back at it. I don't know if it was the restart. Let's see here. I know he drove back up to the field pretty decently.
He missed his pit. That's what it was. He slid right past it by about a whole front clip and then had to back up.
He did it again. Whoopsies.
Yeah, he did.
I promise, Jimmy, we're not throwing shade. We just didn't notice it. I didn't mean again. I mean, I did mean again, but I didn't mean it like again.
Hey, man, these stock car brakes are not the best.
They absolutely are not. So we see the one to green. Corey Abbott actually got the lead from Sleepy in there at some point, right before the yellow came out. So he will maintain the lead unless I am dead wrong. Was it just like No, he's the leader. Okay, cool. So he's going to line up on the inside lane, Sleepy on the outside, Caleb Akumer third, Jaden Racine is fourth, Harrison Talon, that's your top 5. David Westergreen, I believe that is going to be race-ending damage for him. That thing was pretty mangled. So he's going to be on the pit lane. Going through the rest of your top 10, Carlos Acosta still in the 9th position. Sam Batwell 10th. Other biggest movers, Davis Braun started 28th. He's up to 12th. Those are going to be the only guys that we've mentioned with big moves other than Carlos Acosta and Mark Rebelos. Pace truck is in. We're going to have restart number 4 today. Corey's going to lead us into the restart zone. It's a good jump by Corey, too. That's going to get him clear of the 63. Caleb Akumer, I think the 63 might have missed a shift. Caleb Akumer is going to be clear for second as we roll into 1 and 2. Jaden Racimus all over the back bumper of that 63 machine.
Keen eyes will see that David Westergreen's back on the track. No front end, and that car is going to be very much off pace, but he is going to be able to finish.
A little bit of a 3-wide situation. Sam Batwell in the middle of Mark Rebelos, and I believe that is the 57 of Dylan Javier. Jimmy Hayden trying to work his way through that, maybe providing a little bit of assistance to Mark Rebelos. I don't know how well that's really going to work for him, though.
Not giving it up either. They're holding 3. It's gonna go 2 off of turn 2 here. And one of the fun facts about this Texas Motor Speedway is that turn 2 and really turn 4 as well. When you're driving it, they close up on you like quite a bit. So if you're 3 wide, that car on the outside is gonna feel like they have the wall coming in on them out of the corner. So it's very interesting. You see so many drivers that get caught up by that, and they'll smack that wall, and that is big damage if you get it just right.
Ooh, battle for the lead. Caleb Akumer to the outside of Corey Abbott as they roll into 3 and 4. Big wiggle out of 2 for Corey Abbott's going to open the door wide open for Caleb. They're going to be dead even as they exit 4. Caleb should have a run here. And it's kind of going to stall out. They're going to be dead even. And this just opens the door for Dylan Sleepy to get back to the lead. A little bit of help from Jaden Racimus on him getting a huge run there. Still side by side for the lead.
Yeah,
now side by side for third.
Racimus has been right there, top 5 to top 10 all day. Not really been up in the lead, having the leading speed, but he is up there when it counts. So don't count that number 1 car out.
Somebody else, 2 people making big runs right now. Gavin Higgins, he's trying to make his way into the top 4. He's 5th right now. Carlos Acosta up to 6th. Sam Boutwell making his way up as well. So is Mark Rebelos. So quite a few guys on the move here. Harrison Talon seems to be struggling. He's slipping just a little. 27 laps to go, though. That could all change in a matter of minutes.
He got some Peruvian marching powder in that 02. He is making a move now on the bottom of the, what is that, the 63 of Dylan's Sleepy-In. So that's one of our really top 3 runners all day. That 02 is quick.
Out front, Caleb Pakumer was able to get around Corey Abbott. No big change there. The 63 starting to struggle a little bit. Gavin Higgins up to 4th. So move him up 1 position on the leaderboard. Jaden Racimus trying to catch these front 2, but they've been pretty stable all run long so far. Everybody's single file until about, I believe. Oh, I mentioned it. Here comes Dylan Javier making a move on Mark Rebelox, so scratch that out.
Not quite going to be able to do it. Now it's the 25 of Jimmy Hayden trying to make the move. He's trying to go around the outside of that 57 of Dylan Javier. Gonna do it pretty easily through 1 and 2 there. We say 25. It is the 24 to you guys, so do apologize.
When it be in the first week, it's like, is the 24 correct or is the 25 correct? I'm not totally sure, but I'm sure that that's probably going to fix itself by next week. Is right now you see Carlos Acosta wanting to make his way into the top 5. He's going to be side by side with Dylan Sleepy-In, running all the way to the wall. Take a huge run out of that 0-2, and he's going to get it. So we'll clear him.
Yeah, parked his left front corner there, right on the right rear of that 63. Got the spot, and he's going to have the run here. I think if he can gas it up right about now, he's going to have that run on the outside. I don't think he was able to get it, so not quite able to do anything just yet. He's going to have to figure something out because he is faster than the 63 right now. But you have to make that move quick, or else, well, right there. You're going to be under fire from the 47 of Boutwell sideways to save it, Sam. Yes, he did. Corey Abbott sideways, too. Wow.
They're going to be 3 wide for second. Jaden Racimus, Corey Abbott, Gavin Higgins. It's going to open the door for the 63. Caleb Pakumer just wants to pull away right now. He's got about a second lead. He is gone. I mean, if it clean and green. Oh, Jaden Racimus into the outside wall.
That was a big boy hit right there. He's going to be hurting.
Oh, yeah, you can see. He's broke.
Yeah.
3 wide, a little bit behind him. This is going to be trouble. Cale Pocock, Dylan Javier, Jacob Adams. They're all 3 wide right there. Jaden might not be too bad. He's able to get it back under him and pick up the speed a little bit. Sam Batwell, though, not in great shape. He's fallen back pretty heavily. Really loose had a 2 that time around.
Carlos Acosta lost a couple spots there. Still in the top 10 for him, but he was up to about 6 or so, fighting for the top 5. And
battle for the 4th spot right now. Mark Rebelos trying to fight the 63. The 63's teammate, Jimmy Hayden, making his way back up to the front after that mistake with about 20 to go. So they're going to both get cleared.
In the grass.
Oh, Jaden Racimus. The troublesome stretch continues.
Yeah.
He's all the way in the grass.
It has just gotten worse for him. I think that car is just it is not happy at all right now. That wall hit just, you can see right there. He can't even turn the thing in the corner.
And it looks like maybe the banking is making it to where he's fine in 3 and 4, but where 1 and 2 is a little bit flatter if you run the bottom, he might be struggling pretty hard there.
Corey Abbott got around the 20 of Gavin Higgins there, and now Sleepy-In is looking to do that as well.
Rebelos still side by side for the 7th spot with Harrison Talon. Gonna get that sorted out. They go single file. Caleb Pakumer, though, I mean, the gap is closing because they're working together, but right now he's doing a really good job. The 31's going to be a lap car one more time here. However, not really a side-by-side fight. Harry's going to get around Mark. They're going to be side-by-side, so... Oh, the 31's in the wall in the front straightaway.
Ooh, yeah.
That is going to be a huge moment.
Yeah, he did the same thing the last time, so I think, of course, developmental series here. Hard word for me to say, but these drivers just trying to figure out maybe, you know, not all oval racing pros. There are some nuances and things like that that you gotta figure out and deal with when it comes to oval racing, and maybe the driver at 31 is just not.
We're gonna be 3, maybe 4.
That's wild. Oh, sideways.
We're good.
Carlos Acosta is falling back more.
Carlos might have burnt the right rear off of that thing.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's quite literally gone. That car is evil right now.
Everybody making their way around the lap car of the 31 machine. Right now, currently on your screen, or not on your screen at the moment, we got a fight for the 4th position. Oh, Harrison Talent!
Sideways. Yeah, that's we've seen that's a couple laps in a row. We've seen cars get loose there in that same exact fashion. I'm gonna save it.
Gonna have to careful to merge it. He's gonna be just fine. Everybody's gonna sort it out. I was gonna say that he was side by side with Jacob Adams and Gavin Higgins, but that kind of worked itself out. Right now, your leader is still Caleb Pacumer by a pretty good margin. Everything that's happened has kind of just let him keep that gap about the same, stretch it out just a little bit. Jacob Adams and Gavin Higgins still side by side there for the 6th spot. They're going to exchange it quite a few times here.
Don't look now. That 63 of Dylan Sleepian, he was a 10th quicker than the 59 last lap, and the lap before that he was 2/10 quicker. So I don't think this is over quite yet.
Absolutely not. Jacob Adams making his way towards the top 5. He was in that first wreck just like David Westergreen and Sam Boutwell, so somebody else who was pretty heavily damaged there. Still fighting and trying to make the best out of it. 14 laps to go. We'll see what he's able to do. Under fire right now from Gavin Higgins, though, and Dylan Javier both. So Knight's not out of the woods yet, is Jacob Adams. That was a big word for Elmo. Sorry. Struggle there.
Battle here a little bit further on back. Dylan Javier, he's been using that high line a lot tonight. Up there in turns 3 and 4, side by side with Gavin Higgins. That's for the 7th spot. Javier's going to keep it for now. And certainly enough, that lead, which was about 0.6 of a second a couple laps ago for Caleb Pacumer, is now down to 0.3 between him and Dylan Sleepian. So, yeah, the Sleepian pick, no, not the second time's not going to work tonight.
Yeah, I you know, you got me on the restart joke, but I don't think you got me there. But here's the thing: he's caught Caleb Pacumer. Oh, Caleb Pacumer with a big wiggle. That's going to cut about 0.5 out of that. Getting to him is one thing. Passing him with this dirty air involved. It's going to be a whole nother story. Right now, they're both running the same line. We've seen the 63 make the top work, and I think that's what it's going to take for him to get back around Caleb here. But, I mean, you look at the ticker there. He's been quicker than Caleb every lap for the last 5. So the storybook seems to be writing itself that he should be quicker than the 59. It's just he's got to find a way around him.
Yep, and on board here with Caleb, you saw that 63 was very quick on the entry of turn 3, lost a little bit through the middle and exit there. So probably just seeing how these two drivers are making their speed a little bit differently here. Caleb running just a tad bit higher here through 1 and 2, trying to get that run off, and I think he's going to get it. Sure enough, he does. He's going to extend that gap just a tad on the 63.
A little bit further back, we got some action. Jimmy Hayden 3 wide with the 99 and the 21 looking for the 3rd spot. Mark tried to take Jimmy all the way down to the backstretch wall. Not going to work. Jimmy Hayden up to 3rd. Mark Urbilas a little loose out of 4 there.
But a good run from Mark. I mean, yeah, no sweat on that. He is. Where did he start? He started back in the 30th position, so that is a good little gain for the driver of the 99. I like to call him the voice of chaos in this league. Always has something hilarious to say, and I'm not even listening half the time, but one of the drivers that sure puts a smile on your face. We have a battle for the lead here. It is going on right now.
Dylan Sleepian all over the back bumper of Caleb Pacumer. Got him a little loose there out of 4. And it's just kind of the air effects that this car and the service... Oh, he's going to get under him here. Caleb's going to leave him a little bit of room. Maybe some contact out of 2. They're both going to keep it clean. We stay green. I was going to mention that the air effects, that being the leader, what you can do to the car behind you. We got a yellow. It looked like it happened just inside the top 20. Carlos Acosta involved, just outside the top 20 maybe. Heavy damage on the O2.
Hearing that Kale was involved there, Kale Pocock.
There were 2 incidents. Carlos Acosta with the self. The incident that's going to bring out the yellow, though, Kale Pocock, very loose, going to slide down into the 84 of Rob Mooney. Mooney's going to put it on 2 wheels, Dukes of Hazzard style there, and lose the front end. Somebody who narrowly avoided Kale Pocock, if we can get an onboard of that. Kurt Gibson with the was it Kurt that barely missed him? Yeah, Kurt. A little bit of a scare there. They were 3 wide. Sam Boutwell, Kurt Gibson, and Dave Huckleberry. Kurt had a quick little wiggle to not get involved in that one.
Yep, on board with him, and see that just chaos happening in front of him, and you don't want to see that as a driver.
I mean,
But we got pit stop.
there's nothing he could do. Oh, we got pit stops here, so there's going to be about 6 to go on the restart. I'd say probably closer to 5, actually. We're going to see, I would imagine, some 2 tire takers, maybe for those guys that felt fast but struggled a little bit. Everybody down pit road will have to watch the battle off the pit lane.
I was thinking to myself, but I didn't want to say it. See if anyone decides to try it. It looks like not yet.
I'm seeing 4 on the 59. I'm seeing 4 on the 63. Yeah, no 2 tire takers. Caleb Acumer is going to get the race off pit road. Dylan Sleepy in 2nd. Corey Abbott 3rd. Mark Rabilas 4th. Jacob Adams 5th. So his recovery is going to continue, and he's going to have a shot here to maybe try to be a bigger factor in this thing. And what a story it would be for Jacob Adams.
Yeah, a great recovery too. Like you said, just he was in 2 incidents earlier today, and mentally as a driver, that you got to find a way to get around that. Sometimes it can seem a little bit down and out, but he has done a great job of just keeping his head in the game here and locking in and getting himself up to the top 5. So yeah, great run for the 48.
Rest of the race off pit road for your top 10. We're going to have Ryan Borges 6th, Harrison Talon 7th, Jimmy Hayden 8th, Austin and Abnett 9th, and Davis Braun is going to be 10th in that number 15 machine. 1 to green this time by. It's going to put us at 5 to go on the restart. So we're going to have Caleb Acumer on the bottom. Dylan Sleeping is going to be on the outside. We're down to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit for the track temp, so we're 1 degree colder. Obviously 129 when we started the race, like Alayton had mentioned earlier. The hottest, close to the hottest that we've ever had in Elite. So I'm not going to go on record saying it is the hottest, because I feel like we might have had some form of a tactical nuke on the racetrack at some point before this. 5 to go, Cam. I mean, these guys, they're under pressure. Most of them are on 4, so they're not going to be tire saving at all. I feel like we might have one more wreck in us, honestly, with how this car's been handling on the short run.
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't put it past these guys. Not a discredit to them, but this, like you said, this track is just super hot, and the car setup is pretty loose for these guys. And of course, they're going to be driving it as hard as they can from here on out because 5 laps to go. So let's get to it.
Pace truck is in. Corey Abbott, your leader, on the bottom. Dylan Sleepy on the outside. Pretty good jump for Corey there as well. So Caleb's going to have a huge run. He's going to be side by side for 2nd with Dylan Sleepy. A little bit further back, everybody else looks pretty good. No real struggle there, but Caleb Acumer about a 0.3 of a second lead as we roll through turn 2. And they're going to be side by side all the way back through the top 5, maybe 3 wide with Jimmy Hayden, 3 wide with Harrison Talon and Ryan Borges there. So they're going to get that sorted. Still 3 wide. Ryan Borges going to make it work. He looked like he started to lose it on entry, but they're back 3 wide. He's going to get that to stick. There's 2 wide still, but out front, Caleb Acumer liking what he saw in his rearview mirror. Dylan Sleepy wasn't able to get around Corey Abbott. Still about a 0.3 of a second lead for Caleb, coming to 3 to go this time by. Oh, Jacob Adams hard on the outside wall.
Oh. Yep, and they're still not figuring it out there. That was Gavin Higgins as well.
It wasn't Jacob Adams. It was Gavin Higgins. Okay, very similar look. I mean, they're both black and red, but. Oh, so they both got the wall, actually, from what I'm hearing, so I wasn't wrong, but that was technically the truth. Everybody gets it sorted for the moment. Corey Abbott going to get back around Dylan Sleepy, and that's about a 0.6 of a second lead for Caleb Acumer. 2 to go this time by. The fight's back on for 2nd, so if you're Caleb Acumer, all you want to see is that white flag. Jimmy Hayden right now, Jacob Adams, they're fighting.
Hell, he's driving. That car is loose, but he's gonna get the spot on the 21 of Abbott there, and there was some contact, but give P2 to the 63.
Mark Robilis going to put some pressure on Corey Abbott. Still about 0.6 of a second for Caleb Pacumer as he rolls down the back straight away. Robilis in the wall, pretty hard there.
So we roll composite bodies, so
3 and 4.
Sheet metal's not going to fold in on your tire and cause any problems, but you still don't want to hit the wall.
White flag for Caleb Pacumer. So the race is official. Jimmy Hayden going to tuck into the 7th spot for the moment, but Caleb Pacumer, he was quick all day. We talked about the tire saving. Oh, Jimmy Hayden! Contact with Harrison Talon. They're going to get it sorted out.
Oh, no.
Oh, more contact. Caleb Pacumer out of turn 4. He's going to win here, the season opener, the IGD 135. But we got more contact. Looking at the rest of your top 10. Dylan Sleepy in 2nd. Corey Abbott 3rd. Ryan Borges 4th. Jacob Adams 5th. He still gets a top 5. Mark Rebelos 6th. 7th for Harrison Talon. 8th for Dylan Javier. 9th for Gavin Higgins after taking the outside wall pretty good. And Austin Abnett's going to round out your top 10. But Caleb Pacumer is somebody who arguably, we've seen it in the Truck Series and the Cup Series. Probably one of the most arguable guys for most improved there over the whole season, the most improved drivers. So he's able to get it done, makes the least amount of mistakes out of the top 5. And, I mean, we saw it. Just a good run for Caleb.
Yeah, and in a nice little paint scheme, too. If all the endurance racing fans here will realize that is the pink, they call it the pink pig from, I think it was like 1967 or something like that. Nice little endurance paint scheme that Porsche ran for a few years at Le Mans back in the day. But that car was known for that paint scheme was known for being or the car was pretty fast, and I think Caleb did go work with it tonight.
We're going to take you to break. When we come back, we'll recap the results for you one more time, and then we'll get our podium interviews.
Tickets for the 2026 season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Now let's hear about Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pick group. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here at the Texas Motor Speedway, we just wrapped up the IGD 135, and we're going to roll through your results one more time here. Caleb Pacumer is your winner here. Dylan Sleepy in 2nd. Corey Abbott going to take the 3rd spot. Ryan Borges 4th. 5th for Jacob Adams. 6th for Mark Robilis. He ends up being the biggest mover on the day. Harrison Talon 7th. Dylan Javier 8th. Gavin Higgins 9th. Austin Abnett 10th. Jimmy Hayden 11th. Sam Boutwell gets the 12th position. Logan Key 13th. Dave Carpenter 14th. Mitch Javier 15th. Pierce Hausler 16th. Kurt Gibson 17th. Andrew Hardcastle 18th. Jaden Racimus 19th after an up and down day for him. Davis Braun 20th, Dave Huckleberry 21st, Carlos Acosta 22nd, David Westergreen 23rd, 24th for Philip Falzone, Rob Mooney 25th, Cale Pocock 26th, Kyle Harner 27th, Josh Osborne 28th, 29th for Rishav Koshala, 30th for James Watson, 31st Frank Fody, 32nd Shea Mitchell, 33rd Bryce Fody, 34th Johnny Thomas, 35th Pete Morales, Andy Thomas 36th, and Scotty Larson 37th. That is going to be your rundown of the results. And I believe Cam is going to be standing by with Mr. Corey Abbott.
Yep, I got him here. Corey Abbott, this is Cam in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a pretty, I'd say a pretty good day for you. You ran in the top 10 about all day. We're right up there with the 59, 63, right up in the mix. Just from the green flag fallen, tell us about your day.
Yeah, it was pretty consistent, pretty steady. I felt minimum like fourth, fifth place all day. Where we really lacked was just figuring out how to manage the rears over the run. When I tried to take it easy, I felt like I just lost a lot of time. And when I started to get back to guys, I couldn't get by them and the tires were gone. I couldn't find the balance as well as Caleb or Dylan or even Jimmy.
Yeah, it's good. It's funny you mentioned that. I think it was 128 degrees was peak temp, I believe. So that's what's one of the hottest elite races that's ever been ran, track temp wise. So we saw a lot of drivers out there struggling with the front, the rear, lateral grip, just every kind of grip. Was there a particular thing that was really just not there for you tonight?
I would say my strength is the long runs, and I think tonight might have been one of the few races where that was my downfall. Once that right rear started to go away, I had a really hard time keeping pace with Caleb. I don't know, that last long run, I think whichever one I had the lead on the restart, eventually he got by me, and then Dylan and Jimmy caught up. I just didn't have it.
And I wanted to go ahead and ask you about two races coming up. We do have an exhibition it was a Sonoma Rallycross, which I saw that and I was geeking about that. I thought that was going to be the most hilarious thing ever. I did some testing and it's actually really fun. And then after that, if you like the tire wear, we're going to do a lot more of it. We're going to Old Atlanta. How do you feel about those two races right there?
Great. I like Atlanta. I'm hoping the oval refresh kind of fixed some of the problems with it, where it was like a very toppling dominant. Atlanta's just fun. I'm okay with high tire wear. I like loose cars. The exhibition race, I'll definitely be there for that. That'll be fun. That will be a really good time with this group, I think.
Excellent, excellent. Well, before we let you go, any sponsors or shout outs you want to give for us?
Gotta shout out the title sponsor. That's Andrew Hardcastle and Cale Pocock. For those that don't know, teammates of Evan Motorsports. They're great guys. Want to help out the ARCA series. We appreciate the ARCA series. Want to help keep it free for those guys. Gotta shout out Jaden. Ran a great race. I think he got damage at the end that kind of messed him up a bit, but solid run from him. And you guys for putting on a show.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking a minute to talk with us, Corey. Great run out there tonight. We loved watching you and everybody else do this track. It was hell of a race, hell of a time to watch everybody struggle out there with the cars. But definitely, yeah. Good luck next week, and be fun to watch the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys.
All right. And now I think Ty is going to get our second place finisher, and that's going to be Dylan Slepian.
Dylan, buddy, it's Ty up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got it.
Before we get going, is it Slepian? Were we right, or was it Slepian?
Yeah, no, it's first time to try them. That was perfect.
Okay, I was a little worried because like I started to say it and I realized that like I didn't look at the roster, so I wasn't sure. So we had you right. Okay, that's great. You had speed all day. I think we talked about how you were able to get the speed off the top and the bottom. Ultimately, I think you just ended up running out of time there. So run us through your race and tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, I think you had a pretty good pulse on it there. It was actually pretty interesting that with this setup and combo, you could kind of make the car balance either way, depending on how you ran the first couple laps. So I would kind of take a little bit of time to just make sure I was pacing myself and keep the balance in it. and keep the drive off the corner, keep the right front onto it. So probably on the restarts, that was my weakest points, but I seemed to be able to stay in touch with the lead each time. It just stinks it didn't quite work out the way I needed it to.
Obviously, I think you and Caleb and Corey and even Jimmy, you guys had some really good runs there. It felt like you four were definitely the best at times, and you guys were all grouped up. Was it as hard as it looked with the arrow wash? If somebody was in front of you, was it that much harder to try to get around them?
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually don't stay on iRacing all too much anymore. I used to iRace a lot more, and so coming back, I've done a lot more like late model stock stuff. So this is the first time I've done the ARCA car in a while. So yeah, it was really eye-opening. I mean, you could even feel it in the force feedback. You'd get tucked up behind somebody and just get a complete arrow push situation, and just have to keep your head on your shoulders and know that that's all it was air. And yeah, then try to manage kind of getting a headlight out if you were ever tucked up behind somebody, like when I was running Caleb down there at the long run at the end of the race. If I could just kind of tuck my left headlight out, it seemed to keep the nose on the car just how I needed it, and I could kind of work the air offensively once you got to somebody's bumper. But yeah, really impressive, a lot of fun.
Obviously, tonight was the first race of the season, the one that's going to count. We move to next week where it's an exhibition race. It's going to be at Sonoma Rally. Is that something you're wanting to take part in? And if so, are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, we'll see. I'll definitely think about it. I have Tuesdays are pretty available now, so I'm busy during the week usually, but looking to have something. I'm buddies with Jimmy Hayden, so we are jumped into something looking to have a little bit of fun. This is definitely it. So yeah, I might be at the rally and look forward to the rest of the year.
All right, buddy. Well, before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out?
Just shout out to Jimmy Hayden for inviting me and everybody that put this league on. It's really fun.
All right, buddy. Well, we will hopefully see you next week. If not, I'm sure we'll see you back at Atlanta.
Yep, thanks very much. I'll see you then.
That was Dylan Slepian, your second place finisher, and I believe Cam is going to be standing by with Caleb Pacumer.
Sure, I'm Caleb. This is Cam in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, in the you bringing the 70s back with that pink pig livery. Love to see that. And I think the last time that I raced you personally, you were beating the heck out of me in a Porsche as well. So a bit different here tonight. Saw a lot of sliding sideways here, a lot of three wide, a lot of action around this track. Take us through your night.
Man, well, first of all, yeah, it's cool that you notice because a lot of the NASCAR guys in this league, they would probably have no idea what the pink pig is, so that's cool. But yeah, the race was it was so hot, dude. It was a race of managing your rear tires, and a lot of the guys around me were getting loose out of each corner, trying to get as much time as they could, and I just was babying the thing, not tearing the rears up, and then at that last little section, and then I slid my box, so that was pretty lame, and I knew that I had to dig to make it back to the front, get some clean air, because that's another huge thing, was the dirty air was huge in these cars. And the end of the race, I just knew I needed 5 quali laps there, so we were able to rip her out and get out of here. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's I think we saw the track temperature peak at 128 at some point in the race, which is definitely one of the higher ones, unverified, but one of the higher ones Elite has ever ran. And we just saw so many people struggling with kind of everything about the car. The dirty air, we saw that with a lot of cars there. Did it make the car drive? I mean, sometimes when you have the dirty air, the car drives fine behind somebody, and then you get out front, it's just really loose. Did you ever get that, or was it just smooth sailing out there once you got the lead?
No, that was definitely true. I mean, it would catch you off guard, because the car's super tight behind somebody, and then all of a sudden it's super loose when you got clean air. So it was definitely surprising. But I'm noticing, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'm looking at the setup and it says Texas 2020. I'm kind of just noticing that. So we're running a new Texas oval setup on an old track. So I don't know if maybe that has anything to do with it, but it was definitely loose in the clean air. But I kind of preferred that, to be honest with you. I feel like if you're running in dirty air, you're just going to wear your tires even more. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll ask you the same thing I asked Corey. Next couple weeks here, we got an exhibition race at the Sonoma Rallycross course, which I was geeking when I saw that. I think that was the one of the funniest things I saw. I did some
Hmm.
testing last night, and it's really fun actually. So we got that, and then the next points event we have is if you liked being loose tonight, it's old Atlanta, so we'll have plenty more of that. How are you feeling about those two events?
I mean, right now I'm feeling ecstatic. You know, this is sick. I'm super stoked to win the opening race, and like you said, the next week is going to be that exhibition race. That's going to be a ton of fun. We got some guys. We got a guy named Dylan. He's super good with a loose car and riding around in the dirt, so he'll probably do really well there. And yeah, I mean, it's sick, dude. I mean, we won, dude.
It's kind of the best medicine for anything. Everything winning makes everything better. But before we let you go, any sponsors or shout outs for tonight?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Bite Size Sports for the sponsor, and shout out to all of the Lake Norman guys. Shout out to Jonathan Cutlip for making this sick scheme, the Pink Pig. It's awesome to win a race in this thing, and shout out to you guys. Um, you know, you guys do awesome in the broadcast. I always love watching it back. Definitely gonna watch this one back, of course. And shout out to, I guess I'll give a shout out to Tyler. I mean, he's kind of talked me through. He's kind of like my crew chief, if you will, through a lot of these races. So um, just kind of, I don't, you know, it takes a lot off the mind whenever you have somebody telling you if you should pit or not, and somebody with the experience that he has. And so yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, well, you know, you never know. A little controversial to to be here. We got our whole team on probation, so we're kind of just out here running 100%, doing the best we can, and we'll see what we can do with the rest of the season.
All right. Well, that was a great run out there tonight. You put on a show, and yeah, I gotta say, huge fan of the scheme myself. I'm a big sports car racing fan, and the moment I saw that thing, I was like, hell yeah! So hope to see it back again next week. And thank you for taking a word to speak with us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Hope you guys have an awesome night.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Thoughts on tonight, Ty?
I mean, I thought that was a fantastic race. I mean, you know, we saw a little bit of everything. We had our short runs, we had our long runs. We had a little bit of a struggle there in the middle part of the race, but everybody kind of figured it out. And ultimately, I mean, Caleb talked about it. You know, he was taking really good care of the stuff, and everybody was having to fight around him, and it opened up the door. And obviously, you know, caution at the end. He just knew that he had to get off and get going. So he did exactly that, and I think we had a fantastic race. I'm looking forward to next week. If you plan on coming back with us next week, it's an exhibition race. It's just a little holiday fun. It's Sonoma Rallycross, so it's going to be pretty fun and exciting for these guys. If not, we'll see you in 2 weeks for Old Atlanta. But for everybody here at the Elite Racing Network, everybody at Infinity Sim Design, Infinity Graphics Designs, and PRL here at the Elite Racing League, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next time.